Oh boy, am I excited. My name's Daz, this is Daz Talks Footy, and before we start, click that subscribe button because, look, the SuperCoach content is here, and it's coming throughout the next 6 weeks, and more footy content is coming out as well over the preseason. So, if you enjoy, click that subscribe button. I am now up over 25% subscribed v non-subscribed, and only want that to go higher in 2022. So if you enjoy, comment below and click that subscribe button and the like button. Here we go. Yep, SuperCoach is here. Team Picker has been open for a couple of weeks now, and now the team previews are coming in. And if you're looking at the timestamp or you looked at it before you clicked on it going, oh wow, Daz is going to ramble on for a very long time. And no. Look, I probably might a little, and I promise that I'm improving on that, but whatever you're thinking, no. These are going to be the most comprehensive, the biggest, and the best SuperCoach previews you have ever seen. And the only caveat is this is all classic talk. Draft content will come, but considering last year the average draft took place 3 weeks before the season started, that'll take place after all the classic previews. So these are classic style. If you are a draft player, like I am as well, that will come. So don't stress. You can still subscribe and go through it. But let's begin with Adelaide. So how are these going to work? We are going to go through the defense, the midfield, the forwards, and the ruck situation. And for defense, midfield, forward, I'm going to pick a best pick, a watch list player, a no chance player, and a cash cow on every line. You are going to get every tool that you need to succeed in SuperCoach Classic. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to give you all the tools that you need so you'll know what to do, whether you've got Team Picker now or you're waiting for it to open. You don't need to go anywhere else. Let's start with the Crows. Let's start with the defense. Let's go. So let's start with the best pick for Adelaide's defense. No real surprise here. Former Swan, Jordan Dawson. And as you can see from his stats there, 550 odd K and averaging 100. What more could you want? Now, I actually come with Dawson from a sense of trepidation here because, yes, he's scored 114 post-buy, which is fantastic. 114 from a defender is chef's kiss. My big problem is that he didn't start averaging 100 for the year until the year finished. It took a 158 against the Suns for him to reach that 3-digit threshold. And what you need from your defenders, especially your premiums, if you begin with them in your side at the start of the year, is having that average or better. So can we pencil in Dawson for 100 next year? On paper, you think yes, but I need to wait and see what he does at the Crows because he's suffering from NTS, and that's new team syndrome. Because we don't know what that role is going to be. Is he going to be a wingman? Is he going to be a halfback? Is he going to take kickouts? Now, if he does that in the preseason, oh boy, does he rocket up boards. Classic boards. But as we sit right now, I'm saying not yet. It's not a no, it's a not yet. But boy, oh boy, 114 post-buy is just staring me in the face. But he is the best pick for Adelaide's defense. So for the Crows defense, I'm going to be watching Wayne Milera. If he's fully fit, oh my God, he's value at 280. The problem is that he can't stay fit. He really is the stripper of the AFL, in which he's got a great body and can do it all, but he teases us. My goodness me, this man just keeps getting hurt. He signed the 5-year deal, and he's barely been on the park since. So whoever his manager is, if you want to get in contact with me, look, reach out. That's my Twitter. I'd love to get involved. That would be fantastic. But on a serious note, Milera plays such a SuperCoach friendly game of lightning quick, gets the ball, uses it well, and is a meters gain specialist. Fully fit, 280 is a steal. He's just never fully fit, and it's those kind of players that I watch. So if you're looking for what to expect out of the watch segment, it's players like that. Things that I need to see before committing to having them in contention for the team, if you will, and Milera fits that bill beautifully. And no chance really is as simple as it looks. It is someone that is going nowhere near my team. And although he's a very similar price to Milera, he's just not coming on in the way that everyone else in his draft class seems to. And that's Chayce Jones. And I do feel for Chayce a bit here because everyone else in that top 10 of the 2018 draft have come along really well. Isaac Rankin the exception. But you look at other drafts and there are players that haven't come along in the same sort of way. But unfortunately for Chayce, he's stuck in the super draft and he really isn't being given the leniency to come on as a footballer as most others would. Another problem with that is he doesn't have a best position. He's labelled as a defender this year and I don't remember him as a defender at all. He can't break into Adelaide's midfield, difficult thing to do, but Harry Schonberg did do it in the latter part of last year. So if there was an opening for a young player to take it, it didn't go to Chayce, and that's really worrying. And if Chayce is a defender like he is in Supercoach and he's only playing forward, he's going to need goals to score. I don't see him as a reliable goal kicker. Sorry, Chayce. From all reports, you're a brilliant bloke. You're not going anywhere near my teammate. The cash cow, who is a rookie-listed player who could earn us a bit of coin. Now, this one is a stretch because the Crows don't have a lot of cash cows in the defense, but I really like what I've seen from Josh Worrell, both at SANFL level and at AFL level. Now, I know you're looking at that 13 average going, he's really setting the house on fire, but key backs aren't going to do that. Again, if we're looking at this from a rookie graveyard kind of season and depth is going to be tested more than ever before because of COVID, I think at points we're going to have to take what we can get. And Worrell is going to be a good AFL player. He's not going to be the most Supercoach relevant player, but if we do need a plug-and-play kind of player or keep him on the bench until his price goes up a little bit, he could be a stepping stone to somewhere else. It is a little bit of a graveyard for Adelaide rookies down back, but if Worrell does play, he's going to get a good stretch of games, I feel, so he can be here. And so let's move on to the midfield, and the best pick, look, it's none other than Rory Laird. 116 average is just bonkers. Now, he is a fantastic pod. He doesn't have that defensive mid that we would love for him to have and would make him an auto starter because he played midfield all of last year and a best and fairest winning year. But I'm not picking him. I'm not picking him to start because of the man that I'm going to watch. So I'm actually going to bring them in and combine them together. The man I'm going to watch over the offseason is Matt Crouch because we know Rory Laird can score 115. He did it last year. Matt Crouch at his best can score 115 because he and Tom Mitchell live in can find the footy 40 times a game. And because they don't have a lot of clangers because they kick the ball high, which means they become ineffective disposals, which don't affect their score as much. It's actually genius for Supercoach players, and it's why if Mitchell or Crouch, fully fit, dive in price a little, a bargain, because they can get the ball 40 times as long as they're kicking it high to an ineffective contest. Your score's not going to be affected as much. As a Hawthorn fan, when Tommy does that, it drives me nuts as a fan. But as a Supercoach player, which is what we're talking about, it does help. It feels gross to say, but it does help. If these two are in the same midfield together, I feel like they're going to take points off each other, and their Laird's going to go from sort of 116 to 105, and Crouch is going to go to 105, 110, which means Crouch is the better value pick, and if Laird's dropping his average by 10, he's not a good midfield pick. So they're kind of both the best pick and the watch combined into one there. It's a really curious case, and I can't wait to see what happens as the preseason continues with these two gentlemen, because if Crouch struggles again, Rory Laird's almost the starter. If Matt Crouch is fully fit round one, and you only have to have one, you'd probably take Crouch. He's cheaper, can score round about the same, and you can find value in other places on the ground. So a really difficult one to pick right now, but a beautiful one to monitor as the preseason goes on. To the no chance, and this hurts because this man has been one of my favourite players of all time, and it's Mad Mates Rory Sloane. He's just not going to be at his best. His best footy's behind him, and at that price tag, no one's having him. Look, you're probably watching this going, come on, Dazzling, no one's going to have Rory Sloane. I know, but he is one of the best round one players of all time. Statistically, he's one of the best round one players of all time. So this no chance isn't for the people that are not having him. It's the people that when he probably churns out a 130 in round one go, Rory Sloane's value? No. Please don't, because his average is only going to be about the same or go down, and for a premium midfielder, if you're paying $500k for a midfielder, you're looking for blokes that can exceed their average. Sloane isn't going to do that, unfortunately, and I don't know whether this is his last year or not, but I'm going to enjoy the rest of his career without having him in my Supercoach team. I love everything that he's done as a player, but he is not touching my side at all. And the cash cow was one of, if not the steal of the 2021 draft. He's the best kick in the draft, and he's going to play a really Supercoach-friendly game, in my opinion, and that is Calder Cannon's best and fairest winner, Zac Taylor. This man has a lightning boot, and even if he does play that graveyard forward pocket type role, he's going to not count his possessions, but he's going to make his possessions count. And when you've got a bloke that can use the footy so well, a 13 disposal game can still get you 80. And I think that is so, so good. So he's going to be on my bench or on my field as an M7 or M8 for all of the preseason. And until he gets injured or someone tells me he's not going to play in round 1 or round 2, that's where he's going to stay. 117k U beauty, falling so far in the draft. Us as SuperCoach players just rub our hands together. So, so good. Zac Taylor is going to be a very, very good player. I do worry about the Victorian boys playing early in the season. I've discussed this at length in other videos, so I won't take up too much time here, but Zac Taylor's going to be in my team until further notice, and I think he should be in your team as well. So the ruck situation, look, they've only got one that's worth talking about, and that's Reilly O'Brien. No offense to Kieran, I'm not going to attempt his last name, because if I've learned anything about having a US sport podcast, TDs and 3s by the way, it's stuffing up a name really gets you in trouble. Shout out to Jacksonville and Atlanta for that. But Kieran averaged 100 in his 2 games, and Reilly O'Brien did have a down year in terms of SuperCoach, and he did have a down year at times in 2021. You can't start Reilly O'Brien, but I haven't 100% checked the bye structure, but I don't think Adelaide have got the same bye as Melbourne, Collingwood, Fremantle, West Coast, all these teams that are really going to screw up the ruck department. So if you need a plug-and-play ruckman around the bye, Reilly O'Brien's as good as there is. So I won't start him. I don't think you should either. But for Classic, if you're going to need a ruckman during the bye period and your R3 isn't playing, he's going to be a fantastic option. Plug and play for 3 weeks, a month, whatever, until you can get your ruck back, if that's the way that you want to go. If that's the way you're not going to go, you're not going to touch Reilly. Let's get to the forward line. It's a bit barren down here, and that's because the best pick is Josh Rachele. And if you're thinking, Daz, why is he not the cash cow? Because they have another cash cow, so hang in there with me. Rachele is the best option because even though he's a Victorian boy, and I do worry about how much they're going to play, his raw talent is going to help him so much. If he can have the full preseason, which it looks like he will, I don't see why he won't play round 1. Adelaide don't have a lot of small forwards, half forwards that are taking a spot that he can potentially have. Lachlan Murphy hasn't really come on the way that they want him to. I've spoken about Chayce Jones not really being down there. Ned McHenry has been fine. Shane McAdam has been okay, but you're still going to need a 3rd and a 4th. Tom Lynch is retired, not there anymore. Josh Rachele, plug the boys straight in and play straight away. Yes, you're paying an inflated rookie price, but the best ability for SuperCoach rookies is availability, and people will be able to fit him in. And for all the forwards that Adelaide have got, he's the best choice, and this kid is Toby Green light and going to be a gun. I'm not actually watching anyone in Adelaide's forward line, as such is the barren graveyard that it is. So let's get to the no chance. One of the best cash cows from last year, Taylor Texan Walker. I'm not going to discuss the off-field stuff. Tex is a dickhead, and he knows that, and he knows what he did wrong, and this isn't the video to talk about it. But at 470k for a tall forward, unless your name's Tom Hawkins, you ain't worth paying over 300 for, in my opinion, in SuperCoach. Tex is going to need to win the Coleman in order to be relevant in SuperCoach. I don't think he's going to do that, so pretty quick this one. Just ignore him. Look, is it going to take some injuries to get Adelaide's cash cow forward line player some games? Of course, but he does have the extra preseason in, and that is only an advantage for him, and that is Luke Pedlar. The DPP really helps us because if he does play, he does get midfield minutes because he's that type of player, the contested ball clean user, and we can plug him into the forward line, and that is the epitome of a win-win. And if we're being honest, we're only going to need him to make a bit of cash so we can move him on to another forward. So it looks like a win-win kind of situation, and I love the fact that he's had an extra year in Adelaide's system. Look, it is a barren graveyard for Adelaide forwards, but I do see a future in which Pedlar does get games and eventually makes it onto our squads. So comment below, let me know what Adelaide players are in your team. Let me know what you think of the preview. There are going to be 3 previews a week for the next 6 weeks. Unbelievable form. There's draft content coming. There is non-SuperCoach content coming as well. So please don't think, oh, this is going to be a 2-month takeover of just fantasy footy. It's absolutely not. More videos are coming. Do not stress at all. Happy New Year to you all. 2022 is going to be the year of the Daz Talks Footy community. To that, I have no doubt. I will see you in the Brisbane preview. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and goodbye.